Hey guys, this is OracleDaphne. My name is Beth, and I'm back today to do a reading for anyone with their ascendant, sun, or moon in the sign of Leo. Um, I'm excited to come back and do these. These are long format readings. Everybody loved my monthly long format readings, which I can't do, but these are messages meant to find you at the right time. And hopefully this will be like a supplement for, the series. Please be patient. I have not completed the entire zodiac for these. I'm going slowly with these. These take like half a day to produce, 3 to 4 hours at least to produce, which is why, I can't do the monthlies. There's just no time in my schedule for it. But I do also have a new channel. Those of you who haven't checked it out, I have a new OracleDaphne 2.0 channel, which has the monthlies. There are shorts over there. So I will try to leave the link in the comments, but you can also just check OracleDaphne 2.0 and you should see it pop up. I'm excited for this reading today, guys. I'm doing charm reading and tarot. I've already laid out the tarot. There's a lot of beautiful energies coming in, so I want to jump in. I do want to remind everybody I'm still open for private readings if you want to book, and all donations are welcome. Supports my work. The link to donate is going to be in the description box, as well as the other links to book a reading if you'd like. But yeah, like the energy for this reading in particular is really awesome. And I don't know why. It came out this way. So one of the first things I want to talk about actually is my Phoenix ring, which came out what I'm now thinking of as the upright position, because in some of the other readings it came out like this, but it came out this way. And it also came out with this very soft piece of cloth that I've used like some of the other parts of it to make a quilt. And so, but it came out together. And to me, this is like overcoming all odds. This is overcoming all odds, landing very softly because they came out together. So if you imagine a bird without half a wing somehow landing very softly, it would be maybe not as graceful as it could be. Leo, I have to tell you, is not necessarily the most graceful sign. When it has time, it can be very graceful, very thorough, very like melodic and chill and laid back and just very courteous and gracious. But like when they don't have time, they can be a little bit helter-skelter and cumbersome. So like seeing this for Leo is actually a beautiful energy. It means triumph over all odds. It means you landing softly despite whatever setbacks you've had or anything that has been challenging or something that you've had to work hard to overcome. And I have to say too, like, let's just say you haven't had the most support, okay? Because Leo doesn't always have support. Leo is the sign that really has a target on their back for a lot of reasons, okay? And Leo doesn't help that, but I'm not going to give you guys shit about it today. Essentially, it's almost like an endearing quality to have, okay? And I feel like it's endearing for Leo because they can be really loved, but also feel unlovable and not loved at all, or underappreciated or underloved. And they can, you might have to get through things, or might have had to get through things that were hard or challenging, and you're going to make it anyways. Like, even if you have a target on your back, you're going to make it. Even if, like, for example, somebody doesn't wish you well, you're still going to overcome that. It's going to be hard. Okay, I'm not going to lie here. It's a hard challenge. So you keep falling over. Like, there are people in your life that just don't want the best for you. And there are people in your life that really would hurt you if they could. But you're going to overcome it no matter what. And you're going to land softly no matter what. And I feel like, okay, so there's this piece of cloth is cut here. You can see I cut it. I feel like some of you are going to cut ties with someone or some people. I also feel like you're going to like look at the people in your circle very, very closely. I feel like the negative energy is going to be cut off as well as something else I'm seeing. So like, for example, if there's negative energy that's coming at you for whatever reason, there's going to be a stop put to it. I also feel like you're going to land softly through your own merits, through things that you're doing on your own. So, and Leo can be really good at this. So those of you entrepreneurs, business owners, people who really venture out on their own, do things their own way. And Leo can be a little bit wild in this regard. Like they can really have a wild streak and do things their own way and need to do things their own way. I feel like you're going to be successful in those things. Specifically, if you have maybe a niche in something. I'm seeing all kinds of things. Some of you might have a niche in some finances. Some of you might have a $1 billion idea. Some of you may, really be into like whatever it is that your talents are. So like maybe musicians, artists, whatever crafts you do. Cause this, again, it's like a quilting thing. So some of you maybe hand make things. My guys are also showing me this girl. This was a while ago. So she's probably older now. She was 24 and she had this slime making business, which was like essentially the slime is like glue with all kinds of like textures, and people buy it for parties and things. And she's like, I don't know, self-made millionaire or something, like at 24 for creating this interesting slime. So, I mean, it's sort of something like that, where you maybe take an idea and you run with it, or you're successful in something that you worked hard. And I have to say, Aquarius and Leo, even like I want to say Taurus, Scorpio, they have to work hard at things. Like they have challenges just like everybody else does. But like in order to be successful, I've noticed that Taurus has to work really hard and to make any headway, and as well as Leo and Aquarius. Aquarius, I have to say can maybe strike it rich more than others. They kind of have that millionaire like ticket kind of stuck in their energy field somehow, but it's like with Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, they have to work more hard at it. So I have to say, whatever it is, I see you putting in a lot of hard work, whatever it is you're doing, that's what I see. But I also feel like you're going to land very softly, meaning whatever it is you're doing is going to pay off. And I say that and I look down and we have the 10 of Pentacles as the outcome. This is big money, guys. This is big money. This is also, there's a lot of green cards here. Financial flow. And I say that and I look down and we got the 6 of Pentacles, which is about flow. It's like a faucet. And generally this is about spending money, but during this period of time, some of you might not have an issue. Like you might spend money and then money comes right back in. You're not worried about it. You have that mindset of not being worried about money, or you have that mindset about not being worried about maybe your job or your finances or something to do with that. I also have to talk about the cards in the center of the reading, because we have the Page of Swords and the 2 of Swords. And I really wanted to tune into this because it's almost like hard for me to articulate it. So just kind of give me a second. The 2 of Swords to me is about overcoming some kind of disagreement, being at odds with somebody, coming to a point of like just not being at a resolution point and staying there. This is somebody ghosting you, not reaching out, not talking, not texting. But the Page of Swords is about upliftment, and it's about being lifted up out of hardship. It's about something that's helpful in nature that maybe you're not expecting. This is being given a leg up, a handout, somebody who's, reaches out to you, or you get a call or text message and says, hey, do you want to come here? And that's God lifting you, plucking you out of the place that you're in and lifting you and depositing you someplace else. My overall feeling is that no matter what this 2 of Swords represents, you're going to overcome it because you're going to be moved away from it. You're going to be lifted up out of whatever hardship you have. You're going to be lifted up out of a relationship. You're going to have the means or the opportunity or the offer that gets you out of Dodge or gets you out of a situation that's not working. Or let's just say, like, for example, you don't get along with somebody at work. You're going to have an offer or opportunity to go to a different position, whether that's laterally or whether that's in another town or place. You're going to have an opportunity to leave it. And in some way that is this sort of like the most beautiful message of this reading, is that, like, to me, it's about deliverance. It's about God intervening. It's about feeling, I don't know, I want to say very forsaken, and then something good happening. It's just very interesting because there's this person that I text when I have a low moment where I feel like, okay, like God is forsaking me, like there's no point in doing all these things. And then, you know, something good will happen. Maybe some positive blessing will come through. And I feel like that's going to come on the heels of maybe, you know, you have a disagreement with someone. Maybe you have a disagreement. Maybe like there's a part, you know, something that happens where you just are like, yeah, not getting along with somebody. Or maybe you reach a point in time where you're like, okay, this relationship isn't working and I want to leave. And you leave. It's almost like something reaching, I want to say, critical mass. Okay. And I use that analogy a lot. I use, like, you know, space terms. I also do like Star Trek, you know, references and stuff in my readings. But like, to me, this is like, it's very space. It has a space energy where it's like the planet is going to reach critical mass. And it's interesting because I'm recording for Leo. And to me, Leo is like the most expansive energy of all these signs. Essentially, it just keeps going and going and growing and growing. And it has moments, I'm not going to lie, where Leo can get very burnt out. But it's like, you know, you expand so far, you can only go so far in a relationship. And then you have to, you know, it reaches its critical mass. Something is going to reach an ending. Something is going to reach a final point. Something is going to get to a point where you can't make it work any longer. Or you can't do something any longer, maybe with a certain partner or with certain people, or like whatever it is that you're doing. It's sort of like you're just not going to be able to take it anymore. To me, that's how it feels. And it feels like you're going to leave it. Like, for some of you, you're going to up and quit a job, or you're going to walk out on a job, you know? Yeah, I'm seeing the tomahawk here. The tomahawk here is having words with somebody. I feel like you need to watch what you say. But at the same time, you know, if I look back at the times where I've up and left something, I'm really grateful that I did. I don't have regret getting up and leaving, walking out. You know, it has felt the best. I felt the most free, and I felt the best that I ever felt in my life. There was a job that I left during the pandemic. And I have to tell you, like, I couldn't move my finger away from the mouse. I had to worry about going to the bathroom, how long I was in there for, or it was going to ruin my production level. It's just one of those things where when I up and left, and I did finish out my two weeks and whatever, but when I up and left, essentially gave them the word that I was going to leave, it made me feel really free. And there was a time in which, okay, I'd gone somewhere and, you know, that I got there and they changed how much they were going to pay me. I was staying overnight at a place, and it was kind of like a bed and breakfast type place. And they changed how much they were going to pay me. And when I got there, I was like, yeah, that's not going to work for me, but I'm going to stick it out for a little while and see how it goes. And then there were some things that happened that I really didn't like, and I was just not on board with. And I felt like they were just kind of trashing me and not treating me right. So I up and left. It was like late in the night, actually. I up and left, and I just was like, yeah, I don't care. You can send me my check back to this address, you know? I actually really am grateful that I did that, because, you know, I have self-respect. And you know what? Some of you, I feel like the lesson that you're learning here is about self-respect. Is about saying, honoring yourself, honoring what you want, honoring, like, okay, how are things working with you? And Leo can tend to, at times, be overly self-focused. But in this reading, I'm reading for Leos who need to think about yourself and need to think about what you're doing and need to be, like, honest with what's working for you and what's not working for you. I don't typically recommend quitting a job in this job economy. But at the same time, again, you're not going to regret it. I feel like you're going to have a place to go. I feel like there's going to be people that are supporting you. I feel like there's going to be another job opportunity or something else that comes through. My guides are confirming that. Something else is going to happen in your favor. I don't see any negative cards here regarding like tower moments or like hardship issues, because those are the things that can happen because of a job change. So I don't necessarily feel like that's the case here. I feel like if there's a change that you make, I feel like there's going to be another opportunity right after it. And I honestly think if Leo goes for what it wants, it generally gets it. Like if you go and you ask somebody, hey, this is what I need or this is what I want, they listen to you. I feel like they are going to respect you. Yeah. See, we have the 6 of Wands too. For some of you, you're going to get offered like the job opportunity of your life. That's what I'm seeing. Like to me, this is like a job opportunity, a dream job. This is something that you've wanted. This is something that you don't get like every day. This is not a, just fresh out of college job. This is a dream job of some kind. For some of you, you're going to get an opportunity to get moved somewhere. So like say a company is going to say, we're going to offer to pay you $60,000 a year, but we're going to also, move you out to where you're going to be working. And it's going to be something that you're going to want to take. Like absolutely, you're not going to say no to it. You're absolutely going to say yes. I feel like for some of you, there's like with regards to relationships, there's chances to make up with people. Okay. So for some of you, you might be in a fighting and making up pattern, or you might, during this period of time decide, I really want to make things right or make amends with certain people in your life that, I don't know, maybe you just feel badly, we're not really seeing eye to eye with, or not agreeing with, or whatever the case may be. It just feels like, I don't know, it's something actually really sweet. We have the Belgian chocolates, which is a whole conversation in itself, but we have also the gift here right next to the tomahawk. So to me, it's like you might gift some things to somebody as like a peace offering. You might buy somebody some chocolates or do something nice. You might get them a gift card. You might say you're sorry. That to me, it's for some of you, like you might get an unexpected apology from somebody. You might also get like something in the mail too. Like I'm seeing something in the mail. I'm also seeing something where it's not necessarily where somebody like is treating you badly. It's just where somebody, maybe wants to do right by you or make things up to you. And I have to say, like, this might be really shocking. Like for some of you, this might be a chunk of change. Okay. If somebody comes through, like this would be like a big chunk of change. I also feel for some of you, this is like some really great tickets to go see something, like some like really good seats at a sports game, okay, that are worth like $800 or something, or like to a concert or something, where they're like, hey, we just want to apologize, and this is what we're willing to do, and it's going to surprise you. There is nothing negative that I'm seeing really in this reading. I do feel like some of you may have gone through a period of time where there has been a lot of emotional upset. Maybe you haven't been happy in your life, and for whatever reasons, we all have our own reasons. Some of you it's medical. We have the pink pig here. Some of it's things that you've had to do that were really hard that you didn't want to do. Some of it's like maybe, you miss, I want to say like the time before time where maybe relationships were easier, or jobs were better, or things were not so challenging in maybe the external world, where you could believe more that things were headed in a good direction, where people cared about each other more. It's kind of like almost like a little pre-pandemic world a little bit, where people actually called you. There was no ghosting. There was a lot more of like a value in the family unit, value, like, kind of traditional values. I feel like some of you are kind of longing for something that like appears to be maybe more of a traditional lifestyle or a traditional marriage or something that's very wholesome. It appears to be very wholesome, and like you're longing maybe for that wholesome connection or like feel good energy from maybe dating someone that you really, you know, like, you maybe falling in love. I just feel like for some of you, maybe you're looking for or have wanted to have like the whole package where, you know, you fall in love and it's a very feel good relationship and you're on the same page and maybe you get to settle down or, you know, things like that. I feel like for some of you, there's been disappointment in other people. There's been challenges, not just at work, but maybe with your health or with other things. I feel like for some of you, you're not necessarily happy that, you know, with your sex life. Maybe you haven't really been active, or you really haven't wanted to do it, or you really haven't had the right opportunity with partners that you actually liked. I feel like there is an element of missing someone from the past, like an ex, or like even like an old like an ex partner, like an ex-wife or ex-husband of some kind. So like if you're separated or you're divorced, I feel like you kind of maybe miss having the stability that they brought or the tradition that they brought to the table. I definitely feel like there's opportunities to meet people, but I also feel like for some of you, you're meant to be a light in other people's lives, which means you're not necessarily going to go the traditional route in meeting a love partner. You're going to be at a certain place at a certain time to be there for others, but not necessarily like, you know, show up to meet a life partner. I feel like some of you will need to work a little bit harder on meeting a life partner. And you know, I'm just going to say this, it's going to sound really strange. I feel like, given the readings that I've done, especially with the interstellar object 3-eye atlas that I did, it's given me this perspective of like, you know, like if you're in love with your ex-husband or your ex-spouse or whoever they are, you need to go call them up and be like, hey, look, we messed up. We had a great thing. Let's try again. You know, if you're in love with somebody from the past, which maybe, you know, for whatever reason, you didn't have the opportunity to really be with them the way that you wanted. Maybe there was cheating. Maybe there wasn't. Maybe it just wasn't something that you could do at the time, or maybe you were like too busy with work or whatever. You need to call them up. You need to text them and be like, hey, you need to kind of be really forward thinking regarding and go-getting regarding a relationship that you want. If there's something or someone in this world that you want to do, you need to go do it. That's what I want to say. That's the energy here that's coming in. All right, guys, I have to leave off here. Thank you guys so much. This is a really beautiful reading. I wish everyone the best. I send everyone big hugs, big kisses. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Bye, guys.